Welcome back to the On Air with Jamie podcast. Today's show is brought to you by The Shift, my one-on-one intensive session where we completely shift the trajectory of your business in just 7 days. When I say this session is powerful, I mean it is so fucking powerful. We deep dive into your vision, into your business, into everything that's in the way with you. And I'm not just talking like, let's unpack your limiting beliefs and let's work on your mindset. This is deep inner work, deep inner healing, and deep inner reprogramming. Let me just set the scene for you and explain to those of you on YouTube what the fuck you're actually looking at. Because I'm not going to lie, tonight it's like 9:30 at night here. It's actually 10 to 10, I just realized. It is 10 to 10 at night. But I felt so inspired and like just had this really strong urge to sit down and to record this episode. But it means that like it's another one of those episodes where I'm in my pajamas and I've got my headband in and my hair is messy and my skin is literally lathered with serums and oils because I'm really trying to look after my skin. I've always wanted to have really beautiful skin. And truthfully, I've never had nice skin in my entire life. And that's like a whole other story. Actually, I should tell that story one day because I do believe that my skin has been like a really big confidence killer for me. But like if you're watching on YouTube, you're really getting the real and raw behind the scenes of my life right now. Like this is what I look like. This is the pimple that I picked last night and I shouldn't have because now it's like a fucking sore in the middle of my forehead. But anyway, I really did not want to sit down and record this in the shape that I'm in. But truthfully, I'm trying to really push myself out of my comfort zone with recording these episodes and like bringing the content to you because as I said maybe a few episodes back, I feel like I got to this point where every time I sat down to record a podcast, it was like this whole big production setup and it just wasn't a vibe. It literally made me feel like I'd sit down and I was putting on a performance for you. And it's just not how I roll. Like, I want you to have this podcast in your ears, feeling like you're literally having a conversation with your bestie who calls you out on your shit and expands you and like that you can just talk about the deepest depths of like what the fuck kind of universe we live in. Like that's the vibe that I really want for this. And to have to show up all the time in makeup and looking the part and the red lipstick and all of that, like it honestly can be a little bit exhausting. And so this is me being really vulnerable because, my skin is not perfect. This is what I actually look like without the filters, without the makeup, and without, like really being in that performance era, in that performance energy. Anyway, the reason I actually felt so inspired to sit down at 10 to 10 on a random Wednesday evening and record a podcast for you is actually because of a poll that I put on my stories. Now, by the time you're listening to this, that poll is so long gone, but I feel like I very intuitively put the poll up. Like it was a loaded question and I pre-framed it as a loaded question. It had the trigger warnings. I knew that it was going to leave people thinking really deeply. And the reason I knew that is because I've been picking up, like, if you don't know, let's talk about this for a minute. I'm actually a very intuitive person. I don't just, tap into super conscious and tap into energy when I'm doing reprogramming. I've realized, especially more and more this year, that I really feel energy. I feel people and I pick up vibes. And I don't want to be like I'm a psychic because that's definitely not it. But I'm very, very intuitive and I can sense things and I can feel things. And I'm really starting to be able to tap into that like greater collective and greater consciousness and notice and see patterns that are happening like kind of across the board. It used to just be in people that were around me. And just as I said that, I saw 444, which means angel guides, spirit guides, guide team, whoever it is here with us. So welcome to this beautiful energetic space that we have officially opened now. But I've really been tapping into this collective energy of mega transformation, like mega transformation, not just in me, but in so many women around me. It's like the shedding of the layers, stepping into the women that we were always meant to be. But with this, I'm also picking up this greater collective energy of people who aren't quite there yet, or who are still really in the painful and uncomfortable trenches of the transformation. And so I was really thinking the other day about how, when it comes to manifestation, so let's play in this area for a little bit. I haven't spoken about manifestation for a really long time. And that's mainly because I didn't like the way that it was being brought to the industry and the way that people were speaking about it online. I felt like manifestation has really been made out to be like this thing that you do and then it's done, like something else that you add to your to-do list, and you have to very much be like doing all these things in order to manifest. And I truly that works 1000%. And we've seen people all over the internet who can spruik their results for how well that works. But honestly, I just think it's like little girl energy. It's like back teeny bopper. It's just not my thing, right? I really am into, let's call it like a feminine empowered fucking manifestation. It's really more for me about the embodiment and the way that you choose to live your life, and therefore the way that you choose to experience things. Anyway, there's this notion in manifestation that is very much about needing to learn to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, and really love the now moment. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I realized how much time I myself have spent living for the future and have spent like just desiring these things, these goals that truthfully I've had the same goals on my vision board for the last couple of years. And it's mainly because those goals are so far ahead of where I currently am. And it helps keep me like looking to the future and looking to what I want to create. But what it's also doing is keeping me from enjoying the now moment, because it always feels like there is such a big gap between where I am and where I want to be. Now, what I always know is that when I experience these things and when these things start to come up for me, I know that it's because there are other people out there experiencing the very same thing. One thing that I have learned for sure is that I experience everything that you do, but I go first. I go first. I live it. I learn the lessons. I put myself through the fucking trenches of the healing and the reprogramming and superconscious recode and tapping into my intuition and doing all the things that I spruik about, so that I can then come and talk to you about it and guide you through it. I'm a projector. I'm here to guide you, and I'm here to show you a better way of doing things. And the way that I can show you that is because I'm always going first. So if you've been through it, you can bet your bottom dollar that in some way, shape, or form, I have also been where you are. And so I noticed that, this was me. I was always looking to the future, always dreaming and yearning for this next step and to experience the things that I so long and desire to experience. And it was keeping me from actually fucking loving my life and from actually enjoying every single moment in my life and in my business. And it was actually keeping me from being in deep gratitude for the things that I have now. And so the question that I posed on my stories on Instagram was, and it was literally just a single question with 3 options. How happy are you right now in your business? And the 3 options were: number 1, so fucking happy. Number 2, truthfully, I do not feel real good, and I have to be really honest about that. And number 3 was, I know that things are picking up, right? And I hope that you can sense the energy with these. Like, this isn't there's a right answer and a wrong answer kind of thing, but also there's a right answer and there's a wrong answer. And the only answer that actually mattered, I mean, all of the answers matter, but the only answer that is actually true and is actually in alignment with manifesting and with actually reaching your goals is number 1. I'm so fucking happy right now. Because number 2 saying truthfully, I don't feel good, means that you're denying your current moment. It means that you're not happy with where you are. And so what you've done is unconsciously put your desires on a pedestal. And this is literally where I've spent the last 3 years of my life and business. And let me tell you, it does not fucking feel good. It does not feel good to be sitting in the trenches of feeling like everything that you desire is so far away from you and it's up on this pedestal. And until you reach that thing, things aren't going to be good, but it's okay because you're working on it. And just like it actually keeps you stuck. Playing into this energy keeps you stuck, right? Now, I want to touch on this a little bit more because what you should know about me by now is that we're not here for toxic positivity. I'm not saying that you don't get to feel shit in any moment. Like, you get to feel fucking shit. You get to feel shit. I'm not here to be like, you have to fucking love everything. And if you don't, you're never going to manifest it. That's not the vibe. That's not what we're talking about. But what is really important here is that you can love the now moment and like actually be in a really good place and still have things coming up that don't feel good and still have days that you doubt yourself and still have moments that feel wobbly or don't feel good for you. You can actually hold them both. This is the duality of the life that we actually live. And when you truly start to build your relationship with yourself and expand your capacity to hold things, you'll notice that more and more you can actually hold the two completely different energies at the same time. And this is such a powerful place to be, let me tell you. Now, before I go any further into this conversation, I want to touch on the last option, and that is things are really picking up. I can feel it. Now, I have to say it in that voice so that you can really pick up the energy behind it. Because what I see time and time again, and again, I see it because I've been there, was that we actually deny our struggle a little bit. We deny admitting that things are not where we want them to be by trying to be overly optimistic about the future. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not where I want to be. And, you know, I know that I've still got a little way to go, but it's okay because I can see things moving and I can feel the momentum building. So, like, I'm not fucking happy because if you were really fucking happy, you would have just ticked the box that said, I'm so fucking happy, right? You didn't tick that box because you're not really fucking happy, but you don't want to admit that you're not happy with where you're at. And so you have to tip this like, it's like Switzerland in the middle, right? Where it's like, I don't want to admit this, but I'm also not this. So I'm going to pick this option that's in the middle that has me essentially resisting where I am now and looking to the future, still denying the present moment. And this is the actual key of this whole episode. And I realized like I intended for this episode to feel like a pep talk. And I promise we're getting to like the inspirational, motivational stuff. But you know me, I have to keep it real and I have to really explain this stuff to you because I want it to land like nothing else. Like I could record podcasts every single day that just pep you up and blow smoke up your ass. But I really feel like that's not what I'm here to do. And I truly don't believe that that is the best way forward for people. You know, I spoke I don't even know what episode it was now, but I spoke in an episode before this about how, you know, when we're in this coaching and mentoring space, often it can actually cause you to get stuck in these cycles of personal development because you're always looking outside of yourself for validation and for inspiration and for motivation. And every time you get that from something outside of you, you get a dopamine hit. And that keeps you desiring more. And that keeps you going back for more. And it actually can keep you very stuck. And so while I want to absolutely inspire you and motivate you and give you all the tools that you need to literally go from where you are now to where you desire to be and living that fucking dream life that like you know that you're destined for, I also want to keep it really real with you and really explain this stuff in depth. And I just saw 444 again, but really explain this stuff in depth so that it lands. Because something that drives me bonkers about the online space is that there is so much surface level stuff. And while I get it when you're in the beginning stages of business or personal development or the spiritual world, it can feel really overwhelming when you listen to someone like me who just goes so fucking deep that it's like, oh my gosh. I actually had someone say to me, and I love her for this. She's like, sometimes I listen to your stuff and I feel like it's a room that I'm not good enough to be in. And that really tripped me up, to be honest, because it's not that I ever want someone to listen to my stuff and be like, "Oh fuck, I'm not there yet, so I can't listen." But I just don't want to join an industry that is keeping you stuck and not explaining things enough and really just playing on this surface like little level when there is so much more to be discovered. Anyway, so going back to the poll. When I got the results for those answers, the thing that broke my heart the most was that no one said that they were fucking so happy with where they were. Not one person. Not one person clicked the box that said, I'm so fucking happy. And the rest was an even split. It was 50%, I'm really not happy right now, I have to be honest. And 50%, things are really picking up. I can feel it. And it just really hurt my heart to think that there are women out there who are so resistant to their journey, who are not embracing the journey that they're on, and they're stuck in this looking forward to the future, looking for what's next, not loving where they are now. And here is one thing I know for sure. I've been watching women who are like fucking killing it in business. I'm not even just talking about like $1 million years anymore. I'm talking multi-million dollar years. And they're in the same industry as all of us. They're creating content in the same way. They're selling offers in the same way. There is really nothing different between us and these people, right? But one thing that they do that I see so many other women not do is that they're fucking here for the journey. They're here for the journey. They're just living in the day, loving where they're at, being grateful for every single person who hands over their credit card, whether it be for a $5 offer, a $15 offer, a $15,000 offer. It doesn't matter. There is so much love and gratitude for every single person who is cycling into these people's lives. And they're here to enjoy the actual journey of entrepreneurship, because that is what we're actually all on. When you opened your business, like, you didn't sign up for this. Not consciously, anyway. When you signed up for your business, you consciously did not sign up to be thrusted into this world of diving so deep within yourself and having every, shit belief, every shit story that you've ever had about yourself needing to come to the surface. But that's exactly what happens when you decide to build a business and put yourself out there online. It is literally like going through a whole spiritual awakening that you were not even aware of, right? It opens you up to this whole world of things that you didn't even know existed. It is a journey. It is a journey. And it is part of life. It is part of the process. And when you just sit and always look at how far you've still got to go and compare where you are now with where you want to be, and make it mean something, and make it mean that you're not good enough, and make it mean that you've still got so much work to do, and all of those stories that you tell yourself, you actually start to put blocks up between the now moment and where you want to be. You literally start to build blocks of resistance. And what's so crazy is before I even jumped on to record this episode, I was like thinking about all this and I'd reflected on it all day. I knew I wanted to sit down and record this. And I was scrolling through TikTok earlier and this channeled message came up, and like, it's one of those moments where it's like, holy fuck, like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But also I totally can. this channeled message popped up, and I get these often, and they're often different people that I haven't come across before. And, there's no hashtags and no trending sound or any of that. So it's like divine timing if it makes it to your page, right? And this message literally said, when you spend all of your time looking to the future and ignoring the now moment, you create nothing but resistance to the future. Because the key in manifestation is to live in the end result. It's to live in the energy of it's already happened. It's already happened. This is how you quantum leap. You step into the energy of the version of you who already has the things that you desire. And when you step into that, you collapse time, right? You embody that energy. You have to hold that energy. You have to be able to hold that energy for whatever unknown amount of time you have to hold it for before you actually start to see the shifts in your reality. And this is another thing that really trips people up because they can't hold the energy for long enough, or they think, I'm holding the energy, I'm doing the thing, but it's not showing up in my reality. So what the hell is going on? There must be something wrong with me. I must be doing something wrong. I must need to invest in another course. I must need to try and hack the algorithm a little bit more. Do you see how it plays out? But the thing is that you're not living in that reality if you're ticking boxes of, I'm just really not happy, or things are really picking up, I can feel it. That's not living in the energy of the end result. And every single person that I've come across in business who is fucking making bank is able to fucking love the journey. They don't even care about the end destination because truthfully, there is no end destination. Because once you reach that goal, you set more goals. And once you reach those goals, you set more goals. We're always constantly changing and evolving and growing and setting new goals and expanding on our vision. So that thing right now for you that's like the pinnacle, like my whole life will be fucking amazing when this thing happens, your life actually won't change then. You will arrive at that thing completely unchanged because all of the work came before it. All of the transformation, all of the growth came before you reach that thing. And then once you reach that thing, you'll be on to the next. And so the key is to find a way to fucking love the journey. And this for me has honestly been the biggest shift that I have very intentionally made over the last few months. See, I spent most of this year in this energy that I'm talking about. I spent most of this year in very entitled energy, in energy of I should be further ahead and I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And why isn't this happening to me? And I'm doing all these fucking things and I'm not seeing the results and everything sucks. And I'm about to throw in the towel because like it's just not happening and I'm not happy, right? I spent the majority of this year in that energy. And things have started to shift since I was like, what the fuck? Like that's not living in the energy of the end results. And it's not loving the journey. And it's not loving the now moment. It's actually resisting where I am now. And what you resist persists. When you resist the now moment, you're never going to move forward because it's wasted energy. You're like here trying to push this down, trying to keep yourself from being stuck here where you are instead of just focusing all of your energy on the thing that you actually desire to create and moving forward towards that. Imagine if instead of resisting the now and feeling shit about now, you just took all of that energy and put it towards moving forward, finding fucking love and joy and satisfaction in every single day, because I actually believe that that is the key to everything. Finding love and joy and satisfaction in every single day. That is what makes you magnetic online. That is what attracts money to you. That's what attracts clients to you. That's what attracts opportunities to you. Because it shifts your whole energy. You're not wanting, you're not desiring, you're just fucking loving the now moment, knowing that in doing that, you are being magnetic, you are becoming magnetic, you are attracting every single thing that you desire to you. It's not about toxic positivity. It's not about not allowing yourself to feel the shit moments, because we're wired to feel that. We're wired to look for problems. We're wired to literally survive. We're not wired to thrive. But something I don't want to do anymore is to normalize those shit feelings. Because while it is normal, while you are wired to experience those things, I actually think that you get to choose whether that becomes a normalized standard in your life, or whether you choose to be someone who's like fucking solid within themselves and who can anchor so deeply within themselves that even though, yeah, you'll experience wobbles here and there, you don't actually spiral, because that's just not a thing in your life. And we really forget how powerful we actually are. And the power of your intentions and the power of your choices really is enough to anchor you into something totally different, something beyond your wildest dreams. But you have to choose it first, and you have to hold the energy. You have to set the boundaries, choose the standards, and then make the action in alignment with that, all while enjoying the every moment. Now, if this is something that you are struggling with, if you feel like you've put all of your desires on a pedestal and it's causing you to feel so stuck and to feel lost and to feel like it's never going to fucking happen, and like your journey is just taking too long, because we've all been there, this is exactly what my one-on-one intensive session is about. It is to help move you through the stuck energy, to help move you through the stagnancy. But this is even for women who are like just so comfortable with where they're at that they know that they're playing small because they're not growing anymore, because they're just comfortable and they're happy playing in their comfort zone. This session is all about moving you through that stagnancy period, reattaching yourself to your vision and your goals, mapping out that journey. And we're not just looking at one goal, we're going 2, 3, 4 goals in advance, so that you know that you're not just moving to this future. You've got so much more planned out and mapped out in front of you. And then we're literally recoding all of the shit stories, all of the bullshit that comes up when you make those choices. I have opened up my books to have 4 one-on-one intensive sessions every month. They kick off in September, and it's basically like first in, first served. I only have space to do 4 per month because there are a lot of energy on me. And each session is followed up with a 7-day Voxer access to really unpack anything else that comes up after the session and to help you to really integrate the things that we talk about. Because the hill that I will die on forever is that you can't just do the inner work without then going and grounding it all in action. So if you would love to have a look at those sessions, I will make sure that the link is in the show notes. If you're not sure if it is right for you, please DM me over on Instagram and we can have a conversation and make sure that it is a really good fit. If you're looking for something more long term, I also do have 3 spaces opening up at the moment, 3 spaces opening up in September for one-on-one long-term mentorship. This is going to be deep reprogramming, really stepping you into a whole new version of yourself. And by new version, I actually just mean stepping you into who you actually are and who you came here to be. So all of the details for that will also be in the show notes. And the last thing I have to ask you is, please, if you love this episode, share it to your Instagram stories, or leave a review on whatever platform that you are listening on. It honestly helps me so much to get these words out and to get these episodes out into more ears to make more impact, because that's literally what I am here to do. And if you really, really love it, do both. Share on your stories. Make sure you tag me so that I can reshare it and show the love, and also do that review. And I have decided I'm going to create something really special for you to get if you do that, just as like a thank you. But I haven't decided what that is. It might be like a quantum leap meditation or something fun like that. We'll sit with that. But anyway, I hope you love this episode. Don't forget to leave a review, share it to your stories, and I will speak to you very soon.